It is November 5th here. We just arrived in Illinois last night and first sit this morning, November 5th. Pretty excited. I was in this spot this summer, did some scouting, so I know the area pretty good. Got about a half-mile hike in, setting up on a little ridge beside a drainage. Was covered in old rubs this summer. Hopefully same thing there now, but we're here. It's peak rut right now, or early stages of peak rut, so a lot of chasing. Could be exciting today. It's really bright right now, full moon, so don't really know what to expect for this spot. Got high expectations for this spot, but you never know what you're gonna run into. So here we go. New state, new adventures. After a slow morning sit on the first day there, I seen a couple does and a smaller buck up on that ridge, but just not the buck sign I was looking to hunt. And being it was the first day, I decided I'm going to get down early and get some boots on the ground, do some scouting, get a couple backup spots if needed. I was trying to focus on strategy was to focus on one area, and so I went down into the bottoms. It's kind of a marshy bottom, grassy bottom with a lot of sapling thickets, some smaller trees, really no big trees to set up in the bottom, but I went out through the bottom to see, started finding some buck sign on the edges, and I went out through the bottom, following some rub lines, and it was just really tore up out there, so I decided to make a big loop around there and try to get some information on how the bucks might be using the bottom. And not knowing, not even ever thinking that they could be bedded in there, I walked up on a deer in his bed. I was not filming, so I really wasn't planning on seeing anything in there, but I had my bow, so Spike jumped up about 15 yards from me, and I stopped, and I looked over to my right, and there was just a big rack sticking up out of the grass. Big 10-point was bedded down there, and so I kind of panicked, dropped to my knees. He didn't spook, so when I stood up, peeking, I couldn't see. I was well covered by the grass, so grass was about shoulder height or thinned out at shoulder height there, and I was able to see over. When I stood back up real slow, he was completely on alert, super comfortable in his bed. So I just waited him out for about 20 minutes, waited for him to stand up. As soon as he brought his head up to stand up, I drew back and put it on his shoulder and squeezed off. At impact, I thought the arrow hit its mark right where I was aiming. I thought it was a perfect double long shot. And at 15 yards, it was easy believable. But after a couple hours of not finding any blood and not finding the arrow until after dark, it seemed like I hit him bad. And then once we found the arrow, there was one speck of blood there. So we kind of grid searched the area after dark. Just, it was too thick in there to really even make an effort at it. And, thinking about dogs and maybe even a drone. Illinois is not a legal drone state, so kind of pushed that off the table. I was like, okay, we're going to come back tomorrow morning, see what we can find. Came back the following morning, found blood, good blood, and tracked him about a mile and a quarter maybe, until we ran out of blood. It seemed like he just clotted up and ran into just a dead end there. So it is Tuesday, November 6th. Just got out of the woods. Spent yesterday afternoon and all day today looking for a deer I hit yesterday afternoon, and just never caught up to him. Pretty devastating, but not sure what to think about it. I thought I smoked him, and we tracked him a mile on blood, not bleeding a ton, and toward last where we lost the blood, seemed like he was super clotted up and just was a couple drips. But so now I'm resetting. We got 2.5 hours till dark. I'm gonna try to scout a new area and possibly hunt from the ground tonight. I'll probably just still hunt through it like I've been doing, but so gotta try and reset. It sucks when that happens, but you gotta take it for what it is. Hopefully the deer makes it. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe he's gonna make it, but these deer are tough out here. Real tough. So we'll go from here. We still got eight days to hunt, and so a lot of daylight to hunt yet. Not gonna try to get too down. Try to get back on pace here, find some sign, try to find the deer, and hopefully get a crack at another one. The days between November 5th and the 10th are long. It's the rut. You're hunting all day, every day. And I was seeing a lot of 2.5-year-olds, a lot of cool encounters close up. Started bouncing around a little bit more than I like to, but I was bouncing around, ended up heading back to the hardwoods, finding some buck sign. So I headed back to the hardwoods, and with kind of the mentality of, if a decent 2.5-year-old comes along, he's probably going to get an arrow. Not being too picky. Was hunting for 2 weeks at that point, so kind of standards getting lower. Got a little trigger happy, but that's kind of where my head was at going into this evening sit. Hi guys, it's November 10th, 1 o'clock. I just got settled into my tree here. I got up on this ridge.
Found a real good trail running along just above the top of the drainage, just down off the hillside here, or the top here. And there's a thicket that runs around the top of this point. Seen a couple rubs in there. Looks like the bugs are staying just inside the thick before it opens up into hardwoods. So hopefully a big one will cruise around the edge of this thicket. Those rubs are about 20 yards, so they're cruising right there. Drainage down there is super steep, so I think it kind of pinches in between. There's a field right there. Pinches them right into this little thicket here. This thing comes right around the field. And over there's another trail that comes up, so that's what we're looking at for tonight. It's still pretty cold, cloudy. The wind died down a little bit, so hopefully the buck will be moving tonight. And see if we can't get it done. And just like that, it happened. dimensions. I don't know how big this deer is, but there was a bigger one behind him. But I'm not worried about that. I smoked him. Still shaking. I heard him crash. He kind of circled me in. Sounded like he crashed up in that ditch. But I'm gonna wait on the guys to get here and then we'll go grab him. Grab my arrow here.
Are you on, Bud?
Are you still on?
Right here. I'm not sure where the center of the tree is.
You're walking to this all over that, all over the freaking trees. Look at it. Oh, easy. You good? No. That's all easy.
Right there he is. Let's go.
Let's go, Connor. That's freaking good. Oh, he's nice. Heck yeah. Let's go. Let's go, man.